Whew. All right, guys. So before I get started with this live review, I just want to warn you. If you saw, the advertisement on Twitter saying join me live for my live review and rant, I did not really like this show at all. Tonight's episode of Smackdown, I'm sorry, I thought this absolutely sucked. Especially for a go-home show. Especially also that second hour. The first hour had some stuff that was some stuff that I thought was all right, but that second hour wasn't a big of a fan of that. Sorry, guys. But if you enjoyed the show tonight, and if you're excited for Fastlane, awesome. That's cool. Me personally, there's still something to look forward to about Fastlane, and there's that other part of me that's just saying, please get this stinking pay-per-view over with. Because this is the, let me see here, fourth year SmackDown exists. 2015, 16, 17, and 18, yes. 2015's was okay. 2016's, 2017's, and 2018's isn't looking like it's going to set the world on fire or anything. Robbie in the live chat, what's up? Crapdown Live, hashtag Fastlane. Oh, you said it. Oh, it's true, Robbie. It's damn true. This pay-per-view, as I keep saying, Fastlane, or also hashtag Fastlane, is not a type of pay-per-view you want to be put in between the Royal Rumble and WrestleMania. There is nothing special about this pay-per-view that can ever, help bridge the gap between the Royal Rumble and Mania. This feels like it's just another episode of SmackDown. That's all it feels like. It feels like it could be possibly a good one, having the Usos and the New Day. Bobby Roode and Randy Orton couldn't be that bad of a match, and this feud really wouldn't be that bad, but we have Jinder freaking Mahal just trying to push the buttons. Now, I keep saying, if for some reason, since Jinder pinned the number one contender tonight, it's kind of the same thing that happened with the whole thing with Baron Corbin and Ty Dillinger back when AJ Styles was champion going to Hell in a Cell. If they decide to, have Jinder Mahal get into this match as a triple threat, then cool. Just get it over with. All I ask is that match at least sets, it up for, a bigger, more personal feud between Bobby Roode and Randy Orton. One of those two needs to turn heel this Sunday. It could be either one. I don't care who it is. But whatever you do, get Jinder Mahal out of this freaking feud. And then that last hour, here's the thing. This whole build to SmackDown, this whole build to Fastlane has been like a whole back and forth thing. 1 week, AJ Styles is saying something about how, okay, you guys, making your decisions is affecting me also, giving you all these opportunities is affecting me. Next week, he makes he doesn't care. Then on this week, he's talking about something else. It doesn't make any sense. None of the stories leading up to Fastlane, for the most part, not all of them, but a good amount of them, especially this six-pack clusterfuck, I don't know what you want to call it, does not make any sense. Why should we watch this stuff? Why should we care? This pay-per-view is not meant to bridge between the Royal Rumble and WrestleMania. Next year, since we're going to be dropping back on pay-per-views, no more, brand-specific pay-per-views, this pay-per-view better go. I understand why they got rid of Elimination Chamber a couple years ago, because they didn't want another big pay-per-view in between the Royal Rumble and WrestleMania. I get it. But one, maybe you just don't need a pay-per-view between those two big pay-per-views. And two, the other only defense is, I can understand now, because the Elimination Chamber at least has something special that makes it feel like you're in WrestleMania season. That's why Raw, to me, even though not all episodes have been, great, lowest, average to okay we've had since the Royal Rumble, at least they still keep me intrigued. Nothing on this show makes me intrigued. Nothing feels like it's WrestleMania worthy yet. Raw at least had some stuff intriguing that could, lead things into WrestleMania with John Cena's storyline. Well, even though it's on SmackDown, John Cena's storyline, I'm thinking he's desperate to get a path to WrestleMania with, Finn Balor and Seth Rollins gaining the momentum as well. And now going after The Miz. Awesome. Ronda Rousey, Triple H and Stephanie McMahon. Even Roman Reigns and Brock Lesnar so far has a pretty darn good story. There is nothing on SmackDown right now that is making me excited for WrestleMania. I watched Raw last night. I'm fired up for WrestleMania. Even at 1 or 2 a.m. since I got home late last night from hanging out with friends and I caught up on Raw. I was fired up. Tonight, the thing is let's see what happens after SmackDown. I mean, I keep calling it SmackDown. After Fastlane. Because I really feel that part of the reason why SmackDown's been at its lows of lows since the Royal Rumble or throughout this whole year in general is because this pay-per-view is in the way. With this pay-per-view out of the way, hopefully, with the potential that the matches we could be getting from SmackDown, the Usos taking on the Bludgeon Brothers, Bobby Roode and Randy Orton, hopefully, in a feud that's going to be taken to the next level at Fastlane, Shinsuke Nakamura and AJ Styles, and hopefully Charlotte and Asuka could still be good matches. But let's just hope the build it will be better and worth it. But I'm telling you guys, when SmackDown comes here for the March 27th episode, I made my decision. I'm not going. Save my money because the following week, I'm going to be seeing Chris Jericho live. Fozzy's coming to Pittsburgh, guys. I can't wait. But let's get into this review. Let's talk about this show for SmackDown. And yes, Robbie, Carmella has a match on Sunday. We will get into that. So, guys, if you're following along in the live chat, make sure, like Robbie or anybody else who comes in, to leave your thoughts in the live chat or in the comment section afterwards. As always, make sure to like and subscribe to my channel, and also follow me on Twitter as well, DemandAir93. If you haven't done so, also check out the polls also on my Twitter page, the two ones I always post for SmackDown every Tuesday nights. So let's get right into this show. We did at least open up, though, with something a little bit different. And now I'll give it that the effort in this segment wasn't bad. But once again, didn't make any sense to me. Let's get right into it, though. Dasha Fuentes was in the ring, and she introduced the SmackDown Women's Champion, Charlotte Flair. So we're starting off with some Flair. Woo! And then called Ruby Riott to come out to the ring as well. Dasha was about to talk to Ruby, but then Ruby quickly corrects her and just shoos her off. Ruby, which finally we kind of hear why the Riott Squad was formed. Why? And here's the answer. Ruby Riott says it all began back on November 14th, 2017, when Charlotte became champion. All her life, she was set up to be champion, tall, blonde, athletic, cunning, and the daughter of a two-time WWE Hall of Famer. And when she won the title, she became the first superstar to ever hold the NXT, Divas, Raw, and SmackDown Women's Champion. Ruby watches the myth that Flair was personification of the women's revolution began to form, and that's why she formed the Riott Squad 2 weeks after that victory, with one purpose: to destroy the myth. Charlotte says how the only myth that exists about her is that she's been handed any thing in life, and she claims being who she is to make her work harder than others. She has the weight of expectation on her shoulders, which she definitely does. And how hard does live up to? Her failures are magnified, and she cannot just succeed to be successful. She has to be transcendent. And the fact that she's achieved what Riott just said proves she's transcended any myth about her. And the reality is she's standing right here, every bit as good as you've heard. And Ruby says that what makes this so exciting, because whether she was placed there or put herself there, she's on a pedestal. And all of that is on the line on Sunday. So when she takes her crown, she will no longer be the queen. Her reality is going to crumble, and she's just going to be another bleach blonde failure with a famous last name. Charlotte gets right up into Ruby's face, and Ruby puts the mic down. They get ready to fight. But then Bobby Roode's music hits. Bobby Roode, y'all know, is Charlotte's tag team partner in the Mixed Match Challenge, but it was just Bobby Roode making his way out for the first match we were going to get. It was a little bit awkward just having that, so I was like, okay, Bobby Roode broke up a near brawl between two women. That was a little bit weird as well. Now, here's the thing. Both of these women performed really good promos. Both delivered well. But what just bothers me about this is once again another thing that proves that the Riot Squad is just a complete copy of what Absolution should be. Was supposed to be, I should say, because of Paige being injured right now. Why? Here's the thing that just bothers me. Ruby Riott, great on NXT. Enjoyed her. You know, she was a great women's wrestler. But the stuff she said, how she wants to, you know, just destroy this myth of Charlotte. First off, it kind of already felt destroyed because Charlotte winning both the Raw and SmackDown championships, to me, don't mean much of a difference. They just won both titles doing the same exact thing on each brand. To me, Charlotte already accomplished that big goal when she won her multiple titles on Raw. But the other thing that bothers me is, once again, I like Ruby Riott. She's a great talent. She proves she can be. She's great on the mic. I'll give her that. She delivers promos very well. But does she have the resume to back up, to make her look like a legitimate threat to try to destroy Charlotte? Like the person that, like, you know, Charlotte would tick off just to come after, you know, Ruby Riott. I mean, this is for Ruby Riott to come after her. And plus also, Ruby didn't solely go after her first. She went after Becky and Naomi. Well, okay, then again, you know, Becky and Naomi were two of Charlotte's friends, took them out that way they can have Charlotte all herself. Well, then they also attacked Natalya. To me, this promo just felt like something that Road Dogg just thought this morning when he rolled out of bed. He's like, "Oh, I know now why we could have Ruby Riott say why they're here. Let's do that instead today, guys." Well, one, it's too late, and two, it's exactly what this stable is. Again, all three of these women are talented. Ruby, Liv, and Sarah are talented. Ruby is definitely more ready than Liv and Sarah. I'll give it that. You know, they could have spent some more time at NXT. But again, why Ruby Riott to be saying that? Like, she doesn't have the resume, I feel, to back up all she says. Yes, she's talented. Yes, she definitely has potential to be a champion. But one, she's not ready yet. And two, this story does not make sense. Why would Ruby be the one who's, like, you know, tired of seeing Charlotte get to the success where she is? It just does not make any sense. And it also to be interrupted by Bobby Roode, so that's how they're not going to fight. So I don't know. It was weird, but it's one of those matches I'm just like, you know, whatever. I can forgive it. I'll just move on from it from Fastlane. But yeah, that's what we got from this opening segment, which again, deliver the promo as well. But it just doesn't make any sense. 1 week, it's one thing. First, it's like, oh, you know, we want to just, you know, just sell this once and for all, and we're going to, you know, take out each of our stables and whatnot, even though it was all Charlotte doing that first. And all of a sudden, Ruby starts by taking out Becky in a 6-tag women's match. Again, they should not have given Ruby that title opportunity until after she defeated both Becky and Naomi, in my opinion. They gave it to her way too early that, and then, once again, everything's just a mess. It does not make sense. But let's just get through this match, this pay-per-view. They can still put on a decent match, I'm hoping for. So let's just move on. Let's see here. Mike, your SmackDown Live reviews are much better than 2 hours of Crapdown Live. Yes. Could have done Bobby and Charlotte taking on Ruby and Randy. Ooh, consistency right there. Could have done that. That would be definitely an interesting duos there as well. Well, we already know Bobby and Charlotte are definitely great as a duo for the Mixed Match Challenge. Randy and Ruby. Very interesting. Looks like Randy could be chewing on some Ruby Riott ice cream bars. Had to make the joke, Robbie. Had to make the joke. So yeah. So then Bobby Roode's music hits, and again, so that's randomly the end of the segment, just Bobby coming out, and then next up we revisit Road Dogg's favorite feud from 2017. Randy Orton taking on Jinder Mahal. And those of you who know me well know every time Jinder Mahal's getting ready to come out, as soon as his music hits, I'm polishing up these middle deuces, and I just go, not I should do them on the internet, but I just go, when Jinder comes out, because I'm tired of him getting the spotlight. So Jinder comes out, and they have a match, and Bob Roode is on the mic, is on commentary, just constantly saying how he respects Randy Orton and he wants to bring the best Randy Orton down to Fastlane this Sunday, which I'm like, okay, one of two is definitely going to turn heel. But not to any surprise, the same thing happens that happened in how many ever matches that Randy and Jinder had. You know, Randy gets distracted by one of the Singh brothers. He takes him out at the announce table. And, well, then Randy, I guess, threw Jinder into Bobby Roode. Wasn't sure if it was on purpose or by accident. And then I guess Bobby took exception to it. He gets into the ring, distracts Randy. Because of that distraction, what happens every time except for that stupid grudge match that Jinder and Randy had where Jinder lost as champion clean to Randy. Jinder hits Randy with the Colossus and gets the win. So, again, my thing is, you know, don't, if you're going to put Jinder in this U.S. title match, just do it at Fastlane. I will gladly take Jinder Mahal in the U.S. title match at Fastlane, make it a triple threat. Because when he's not involved in this feud at all, so I could say if you cut out all this crap about Jinder trying to get into the heads of Randy and Bobby about the top 10 list, and Randy just comes to the chase saying, okay, Bobby, this is what it is. The U.S. title is just the only title that eludes me. You're the one that just happens to have it. Okay, simple storytelling there. You can have a match at Fastlane, and it'll have one of either Bobby Roode or Randy Orton turn heel. Because one of them has to turn heel. Either one. I do not care which one it is. One of them has to, and now set up for a good one-on-one match at WrestleMania. If you dare even think about putting Jinder Mahal in a big match at all, besides the put him in the Andre Giant Memorial Battle Royal. Okay. But if you dare at all have him in a bigger match at WrestleMania and not Braun Strowman, I will explode. And trust me, I get very animated when I'm angry. Trust me, I do. But that was that match. Jinder Mahal wins. Then we have this backstage segment with Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens talking about Sunday. Owens says it's every man for himself, but Sami tries to say again how, you know, it's Bill, but Owens mentions how a few weeks ago Zayn said he'd be willing to lie down for him. Sami said he said that and he meant it. And Owens said, I can't believe you're saying that. He's such an amazing guy, and if he really means it, and Sami cuts him off and saying he knows exactly how good he is, but nobody noticed until how good he was until he hooked up with Owens, and there's no doubt in his mind that his time will come. But right now, KO is on his way to headline WrestleMania as a champion and becoming a Grand Slam champion, which, well, he wouldn't be a Grand Slam champion yet, so this is kind of wrong because Owens has not won the tag titles yet. So that was a little bit of error right there. Yeah, because he says in your cage house, no tag titles, Sami. And again, once again, he just thanks Owens for everything he's done to, you know, help Sami realize what he has to do. And because of that, he's been in the main event scene. They get a big hug, and you know, that's that. So we obviously know that something's going to happen between these two, probably either tonight or on Sunday at Fastlane. And then I have not put this stuff on the list yet. I haven't. But it's time, especially with how they looked in this promo. We had a Handycam promo with Baron Corbin saying how he's grateful that John Cena's in this title match on Sunday because he wants to get his revenge on him for costing him his Money in the Bank briefcase. Okay, makes sense, even though why didn't you explode on him at SummerSlam, as I keep saying. But those stinking graphics, as I said before, as a real-life videographer, I can make so much better graphics than that. That text looks so cheap. No offense to her. I love my grandmother to death. But she can make even better graphics than whoever made those graphics. And plus, too, they look like they're literally helping us to, you know, understand what Corbin or whoever those graphics are up are saying. We don't need that. This is WWE. This is not Sesame Street. These graphics just take away from the show. They're distracting. They just anger me. They look cheap. They just look terrible. And what bothers me, too, is that sometimes they're there, sometimes they're not. What's the reason why we're not showing them and showing them sometimes? You're trying to throw emphasis on certain words that just make you look even more stupid? So you know what happens whenever you look just cheap and looking like that anybody can make them? Huh? Unprofessional? You know what happens when they're very distracting? Your SmackDown Live graphics, you just made the list. The SmackDown Live graphics. I've had this list since last WrestleMania. I haven't even finished page 1 yet. Well, it's because I had just literally just, put everything side by side on each other. But yes, graphics, I keep saying, are horrible. I finally just need to put them on the list, and I did so. Let's see here. Robbie says, hey, Mike, do you remember that episode of Raw where Jericho confronted Mick Foley and Foley botched his cheap hop by saying they were in Pittsburgh when they were really in Columbus? Yep, that was the night after Roadblock ended the line. That segment was just flat as heck, especially the announcement for the match between Owens and Reigns at the Royal Rumble with Jericho in the Shark Cage. Even though the build for that match sucked, that still was a pretty darn good match. I gave it to Owens and Reigns. They had a really good match that night. But yeah, that segment, I still won't forget that. I'm just like, Mick, what are you trying to do? Get like a really cheap booth and whatnot? You just literally went through one of the worst pay-per-views of the year with Roadblock end of the line and wasted $100 going to that thing. Oh, man. Yeah, but yeah, thanks for reminding me of that, Robbie. But anyways, then we had a nice video package, just going over, hyping up for the feud between the match between the New Day and the Usos. How even though this feud's being revisited again, I thought it was random to have these two have just another match again. I do like how they place a simple story in there about how both these guys have a respect for each other, but they feel they've been kicked to the sidelines for any time they go to WrestleMania, and they want the spotlight at WrestleMania this year. So, two of the best going at it to see who will get that. And the winner will most likely face the Bludgeon Brothers at WrestleMania 34. And I mean, I like both these teams, but I'm hoping it's the New Day. I mean, not New Day, the Usos, because as I've said how many times, and I'm sure I've said my friend Daniel Guys, and I've said how many times, the matches that Harper and Rowan had with the Usos back at Battleground 2014 and Money in the Bank 2014, those were two really great tag matches. Again, a time where I felt that Harper and Rowan should have won the tag titles, but I'm hoping they do that at WrestleMania 34. It'll be awesome to see, and I cannot wait. And don't put that match on the pre-show either. That match, okay, the Raw tag title match can probably go on the pre-show. The SmackDown tag title match stays on the main show. One of the first, not the first, the opening match for WrestleMania, I think should be that triple threat match for the Intercontinental title. Even if it's the second match, I'll take that. But whatever it is, put the SmackDown tag title match on the main show, because that division at least has more depth than the Raw division does. But yes, we had that package, and then another pointless match for Fastlane was announced. We had Shinsuke Nakamura being interviewed, saying he hoping that AJ Styles wins at Fastlane so he can beat him at WrestleMania with a knee to the, knee to the face, but then Rusev Day, which, as always, guys, happy Rusev Day, because every day is Rusev Day. So they roll up, and Aiden English is trying to speak, but he clutches his throat, and Rusev accuses Nakamura of doing permanent damage to Aiden English's voice, like breaking Billy Joel's hands. No piano for the Piano Man, no Rusev Day song for Rusev. So Shinsuke points out that how English isn't really that great singing anyways. And then Rusev challenges Nakamura to a match at Fastlane so he can get payback for what he did to Aiden English. And Shinsuke says when he wins at Fastlane, it'll be, and Nakamura, I'll give it to him. Sounded pretty good when he said this. I'll give it to Nakamura. He said, Nakamura Day. Again, I'll give it to him. He sounded pretty good. And he walks away. I personally mentioned this last week. Shinsuke Nakamura has not really had much good build at all ever since his feud with Jinder Mahal. And then he was put into a crappy tag match with him and Orton against Owens and Zayn. That match sucked. And then you have him win the Royal Rumble. So, okay, you're giving him all this momentum with him win the Royal Rumble just to absolutely treat him like crap again. Again, I like Rusev. This whole Rusev Day is getting him over, but the WWE is going out of their way to make sure it does not get over. And Shinsuke Nakamura, my goodness, how is he going to get any more momentum by beating Rusev at Fastlane? That's why I was a little disappointed with Cena being added into this six-pack clusterfuck at Fastlane. I I would have much rather have Cena face him, or even if they would have had Randy Orton facing Dolph Ziggler, facing Randy Orton facing Shinsuke Nakamura, with Nakamura's number one contender on the line. Something just to give Nakamura some momentum and some big more momentum going into his main event match at WrestleMania, which most likely will not main event WrestleMania, if you know what I mean. So the best you can do is have him fight Rusev, because Rusev apparently destroyed Aiden English's voice. That's what this feud is all about. That's the best you can do for your Royal Rumble match winner, who is already booked like crap before having a phenomenal performance in the Royal Rumble match. Great job, Road Dogg. You really do suck. Hashtag fire Road Dogg, as I keep saying. So we're getting that match for sure. Robbie says, and Owens played it off by saying, let's pretend we're in Pittsburgh. Oh, gosh. And then, yes, hashtag six-pack clusterfuck. That's exactly what that main event for Fastlane is, indeed. So then we had a match. To me, this was the best moment of the night. The best match of the night, in my opinion, is this match between Becky Lynch and Carmella. It wasn't like, a 5-star match or like that. But to me, I thought it was a solid match. I posted on Twitter. This, in my opinion, should have been a singles feud once Carmella won Miss Money in the Bank. But unfortunately, it didn't do that. Carmella's been all right, but they could have definitely done better with her. But I think they did make Carmella look pretty good in this match against Becky, even though I wouldn't mind seeing either one of these two win, because they both need some momentum going forward the way it is, in my honest opinion. But the match today was good, but it started because of just some shots fired at each other on Twitter about some random stuff. I don't remember what it was. But long story short, Carmella had most of the offense going before Becky outsmarted her and hit her with her submission to disarm her to get her to tap out. Carmella was just snapping. Of course, she was angry. She's like, give me my briefcase! Give me my briefcase! And then we had Naomi watching backstage this match. And then Natalya rolls up at those cat ears. I'm sorry. I like Natalya, but I don't like those cat ears. And especially for like a heel. Just kind of irks me a little bit, even though I like cats. I do have a cat of my own. But Natalya comes up and slow clapping claims Carmella had the flu. That's why she didn't win tonight. Naomi, of course, didn't believe her. Natty continues to say that anyone's friends with Becky ends up burned, and Naomi accuses Natalya of hating and asks her to name a friend that isn't a cat. And Natty says, I can't do that because the list is too long. She wouldn't challenge Becky, though, like Carmella did, because she's her Uncle Brett's catchphrase. The best there is, the best there was, and the best there ever will be. So then Naomi lays down a challenge for a tag match at Fastlane. Naomi and Becky taking on Carmella and Natalya. Why? Just because of some random little Twitter war? And just because of this? We need a few more matches, but we decided to go with just some lazy writing. That's why we got a random women's tag match. Because how many of those do we get anymore on these shows anymore? And Robbie says, you know what happens when your SmackDown graphics look like they were made on Microsoft Paint? SmackDown graphics, you just made the list. Yeah, SmackDown Paint. Microsoft graphics as well. You can call them as well. But yeah, so we have just a random tag match. Sorry, I don't really care that much. Unless it's meant to give Carmella some more momentum as Miss Money in the Bank going into WrestleMania season. I do think Carmella again will cash in on maybe the Raw Women's Champion, the Raw Women's Championship. I'm still predicting at WrestleMania or at the night after WrestleMania. One of the two is happening, but whatever. Now we have AJ Styles. Now here is where I think the show just really went downhill. This last hour absolutely dragged. The promo that AJ had here wasn't bad. I'll give him that. But of course, again, like I said earlier, the story does not make sense. 1 week AJ saying stuff about like, I'll do whatever I have to do to defend my title as champion, but just so you guys know, I'm tired of your decisions between AJ and between Shane and Daniel impacting him as well. He's being put on like handicap matches and like multiple person matches constantly because they're bickering. He's just getting tired of it. Like, why can't you just sell this thing for once? Well, once again, I said AJ pretty much just threw that all out the window, and he said he takes in the chance that he's saying it wasn't too long. He only cared about one person, but after winning the title for a second time, he sees the world a little different. He talks about the years he spent grinding here and how he's still grinding and how that leads him to Fastlane being a six-pack challenge, and he knows he doesn't need to get pinned to lose the title. The odds stacked against him, of course, once again, but he says, you know what? I'm not going to stand in the ring and cry and complain and say it's not fair. The hell of fair. He's going to fight, and that's what he does. That's who he is, and this is Smack the Live house that AJ Styles built. No matter how much they train, how hard they try, sometimes life gets the best of us, and we don't win. I can definitely agree with that. Last week, Cena pinned him clean in the middle of the ring. He says Cena's world class, and he's not taking anything from him. Now he needs an extra motivation, but Cena's never at a loss for words, and he replayed what Cena said on Raw last night. About how he's going to win at Fastlane, and that he's hoping that AJ Styles invokes his rematch clause at WrestleMania. So it's a triple threat, but AJ speaks some truth here, and I kind of like this part because it did kind of transition a little bit into starting something between AJ and Shinsuke a little bit. Wasn't the best, but it was not too bad. He says that, that people, he asks the crowd, I know it's not what you guys want. You don't want a triple threat match at WrestleMania for the WWE Championship. And everyone's saying, no, no, no. He wants his WrestleMania moment. He wants him to be champion on the grandest stage of them all. And he's going to defend his title against the best. And Shinsuke Nakamura does have the right to call himself the best. Whoever ever dreamed this match happening in the WWE? Truth be told, who really did? He's not just going to fight for himself at Fastlane. He's going to fight for us because trust him when he says it. It'll be nothing short of phenomenal, which I expect. This match should be phenomenal and awesome at WrestleMania. Should be the main event, but it will most likely be Brock and Roman. And then, of course, Dolph makes his entrance. Of course, that crappy little chalk squeal, whatever you want to call it, and he just comes out and the music starts playing. While before when the music was playing and then the music just cuts out because Dolph was not trying to, amaze us anymore with his entrances and whatnot. So Dolph comes out. And since Dolph had his return and apparently his whole U.S. title stuff was just thrown to the back, we're supposed to forget about that. He was acting more like a baby face for a while. I'm like, okay, he's being a baby face now. Why? I don't know. But now he's a heel again. He's apparently a heel now, so whatever. He comes out and asks to be heard, right? And what happened to AJ, how he used Dolph's opinion, AJ used to be cool. And at SmackDown was the house that he built. But he changed, and he's not phenomenal anymore. He's just desperate. Styles fires back and says, hey, he hasn't been to WWE for 13 years and failed to reach his full potential. And then Dolph returns by saying how it took AJ a decade to walk into the house that he claims that he built, which they're firing some shots at each other, which there's truth being told there. So it says on Sunday, Styles is going to lose. It's not the math, not the numbers game. It's AJ's head being in the wrong place, saying he's going to do it for these people. And Dolph goes on to say how, that's what happened to him. He did it for these people. And the moment that he lost and just, slipped off the top of the ladder, they didn't care for him anymore, whatnot. They turned his back on him and whatnot. And the fact that Ziggler has yet to have a singles match at WrestleMania is criminal. AJ can talk about whatever he wants, with the fact that he doesn't give a crap about AJ's feelings, and he can take his dream match and shove it. And Styles said he's talking a lot. So why not just have the match you're supposed to have right now, which is advertised, supposed to get a match between AJ Styles and Dolph Ziggler. It's supposed to be our main event. So I'm like, all right, AJ and Dolph have put on some decent matches in the past. I wouldn't mind seeing it again tonight. I haven't seen it in a while. So we have the match, AJ Styles versus Dolph Ziggler. The match, don't remember too much from it, honestly. I thought the match was decent. Wasn't a terrible match, but I expected a lot better. It just kind of dragged out and just, to me, never really got into that second gear, I felt. It was just one of those matches where I'm just like, all right, where are we going with this? Come on, guys. Come on. Next level. I know you guys got in them, but I mean, one that part happened, the crowd just didn't really care. And like I said, it just, nothing really seemed like it got that, like, oh, this is not what happened. I mean, Ziggler hit a zigzag on Styles with both of Styles' legs like laying in the ropes, and then he goes to roll him up, but Styles kicked out of it. And then the match ends when Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens come out and just start attacking them, both of them. So the match ending pretty much in what, a no contest, because they were both hit at the same time. I don't know. So they beat down, and then Shane McMahon comes out, and he asks if Sami and Kevin are trying to take their opponents out, but they're so invested in the spirit of competition, he wants them to turn around and get in the ring, as he knows what we're thinking. The commissioner's about to make a tag match, right? Well, that would be an amazing matchup. They try to bring the best of SmackDown as always, which I know Daniel Bryan and Shane McMahon would do if they weren't handcuffed to Road Dogg's freaking writing. So instead of having a tag match, holla holla playa, let's make this not just that. Let's have this be AJ Styles taking on Dolph Ziggler, taking on Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn, and this man in a fatal 5-way. What is something that a lot of fans just hate about go-home shows, or even, sometime before a pay-per-view? This match almost took place at Fastlane, with the exception that John Cena was added to it. So you're pretty much giving us a pointless fatal 5-way main event between 5 of the 6 guys who are going to be in this freaking championship match anyways. That makes no sense in general. You're giving away this match. Now, why should we be excited to see this match in the first place? Not that I was, because nobody has a freaking story. Nobody. I mean, they kind of do, but it doesn't make any sense. AJ Styles, first he was not happy that, Shane McMahon and Daniel Bryan are making decisions that are impacting him. But now that's out the window. Sami Zayn, Kevin Owens, they wanted another shot at the WWE Championship, but then because of what happened in the handicap match, the Royal Rumble, which that was just a complete waste. I mean, well, okay, the match wasn't too bad, but it was still just weird of it being a handicap match. And then, and then there was a little bit of tension between Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn, but then it seemed they were fine again until after the match. Baron Corbin, I mean, he didn't have a good performance in the Royal Rumble, but then he won an opportunity. He put a match against Ty Dillinger. Because of that, Shane McMahon put up a match against Dolph Ziggler, who's gone for 7 weeks. For God knows why. He dropped the U.S. title that he was in a match. How did he get into that match in the first place? So we're just throwing Al out the window because that doesn't matter to him anymore. He's never even. I was hoping that at least Dolph Ziggler mentioned him leaving for the 7 weeks that he did and dropping the U.S. title film, because he mentioned how the crowd doesn't deserve, his talent, apparently, because even though the WWE won't book him like the world champion competitor that he has always been able to be, they just won't pull the strings on him. And then who else we have? John Cena. Okay, John Cena is probably the only person that has a good story going into this match. He's trying to find his path to WrestleMania because for the first time in 15 years, he feels he doesn't have a path there. So there's at least a story. He's not going to win it. Styles is probably going to retain most likely, if they throw a story about it. But have Styles retain is the match with Styles and Nakamura need to happen. I thank you that there is at least a decent build, a good build so far between Roman and Brock. But don't be trolls with us and take away the match that the WWE knows that we wanted, which is Nakamura and Styles at WrestleMania for the championship. But so we have this main event, which is just pretty much just the same thing as Fastlane, except no John Cena was there. John Cena never showed up tonight, but he was on Raw last night. I still don't understand why he had to show up on Raw, even though he said that he doesn't want to be disruptive for what he has to say. But the match happened. It happened. That's all I can say. Nothing happened. It was boring. The only interesting part about it, well, I shouldn't say interesting, but it was just random how Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens took took out everybody else in the match towards the end of the match. Can't remember exactly what happened. But then, like, without any hesitation, like, there was no drama leading to it all. All of a sudden, Sammy just hits a haluva kick on Kevin Owens and pins him for the win. So, yes, I'll give it that. I was glad to see Sammy pick up the victory because I felt probably could have used a victory out of everybody. But he just gave away the main event of Fastlane almost completely without John Cena and without the title on the line. So why should we care now? And then, Kevin's looked up in disbelief, and AJ Styles is even stunned too. And Styles, of course, never realized that he would have lost the title. And Owens, obviously, was stunned because everything that Sammy's been saying to him. And Sammy gets on the mic and he's just asked why. And he's like, that's a very vague question. And he's the best in the WWE. Ever since he came to SmackDown Live, he's been the most overlooked performer on the roster. Which, again, when Sammy turned heel back in October, everything he said, the fans felt sympathy for him. Because we all know Sami Zayn's a great talent, and he was overlooked. And it's taken a freaking heel turn for him to finally get there, where they could have done this as the babyface. But I won't take away. Sami Zayn has been awesome as a heel, but the reputation he had down in NXT should have been a dominating, purebred babyface. But he's like, don't ask me stupid questions. Tonight wasn't for the championship. It was about one thing: who was the best? And he proved that it's Sami Zayn. And what else? I don't know, because the show got cut off. Because SmackDown Live always cuts off at like a big time. Like, they'll be like a kick to the face. Boom, it cuts off. There is no, wow. That was really weird. I literally just snapped my fingers like that, and then just a weird light just blurred into my camera. That was just really weird. But it's okay. But so, yes, I get, you probably have only so much TV time before you have to cut out the show, but I'm tired of these abrupt endings. Just Sami Zayn sometimes proves that I'm the best. So what does that mean? Is Sami Zayn, just taking back everything he said to Kevin Owens? Is it maybe going to be in a roles reverse view? Is Sammy going to be the heel and Kevin Owens is going to be the babyface? That's what I got tonight. That what could happen. But this is abrupt endings into just a match that didn't need to happen. The first hour, again, there was stuff that was just, I appreciated the effort, but some of the stuff was just off. It was weird. It just didn't make sense. And then this last hour could have been good with a match with Ziggler and Styles, but it was decent, I'd say, but I expected better. And then giving away the whole main event, almost the whole main event for Fastlane completely, just made absolutely no freaking sense. Why, guys? Why, Road Dogg? Robbie says, save yourself, Mike, from Fastlane. Download the new WWE Mayhem game. Play during the pay-per-view on Sunday, and you won't regret it. I'm not sure if I'll be able to get to watch the pay-per-view right away on Sunday, though, because I do have a family event, but maybe I will do that. At least, if I have nothing else to just put on Fastlane, and then maybe I'll just check out Mayhem and see what it is. But yes, thanks for the suggestion, Robbie. But yeah, a terrible go-home show. Again, there's stuff for Fastlane that has potential. The Usos and the New Day could be a good match. Bobby Roode and Randy Orton, again, is a good feud, minus all the stuff from Jinder Mahal, because that's what put a big damper on this feud. If you want to have a third person troll them, make it someone who actually needs it. Heck, it could have been Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn, for crying out loud at this point. They could have been in the U.S. title in a U.S. title run, honestly, more than Jinder Mahal. They could have put them in there, for crying out loud. Or, I don't know, just somebody else, or even Baron Corbin, who never got his rematch for the U.S. title, besides getting just, eliminated in the first round of that United States Championship tournament after Dolph Ziggler, who freaking, I wouldn't even had Dolph Ziggler get his rematch against Bobby Roode at Fastlane. But let me see. What else do we have now? That tag match with the women, don't really care. Why are we having that match? Rusev and Nakamura, don't care about that match either. That six-pack cluster, don't give a crap about that. Ruby Riott and Charlotte, don't really care too much, but whatever. Charlotte's going to be having a bigger match at WrestleMania anyways. I know that for a fact, so we'll get through that match. I can forget that match. This is a New Day. What else are we having? Is that it? I hope. So, as I said, I may not be able to catch Fastlane right away this Sunday, but I'll definitely take Robbie's advice I'll probably just put it on when I get home. Maybe try WWE Mayhem. See what it is. I don't know. I'll be surprised if we at least get a C show out of Fastlane. If we would get a C show out of Fastlane on Sunday, I'll be surprised. But I'm not expecting anything. I'm not expecting it at all, honestly. But yeah, guys, that's my rant. My rant about this awful go-home show for SmackDown, in my opinion. If you enjoyed it, though, this episode of SmackDown Live, though, you know, I don't want to take that away from you. Again, I never want fans to think that I want to tell them, you know, this show sucks. You better believe it. I just thought it sucked. If you guys enjoy it, awesome. If you're excited for Fastlane, awesome. But personally, I just want this pay-per-view just to die. Let me see. Do I have Fastlane on the list yet? Well, I can't really put it on for this year yet, but this whole pay-per-view concept just ticks me off. But probably not. Nope. But hopefully we'll not be back next year. So, TN Couponer, what's up, man? Nice rant, Mike. Yes, definitely. Definitely a little bit of a hothead tonight. But as I was saying, Seinfeld, serenity now. Going off. NXT tomorrow. It's going to be awesome. I got through this. This is hope. After Fastlane, hopefully SmackDown will at least have some good direction for WrestleMania. Because this stupid roadblock, man. And yes, I want Styles to retain the belt as well, buddy. But guys, that's pretty much it. If there's any more questions for me in the live chat, I'll gladly take those right now. But while we wait, though, let's go to the polls on Twitter. Let's see here. Wow, got some pretty good results here for these polls on Twitter. What grade would you give this week's episode of SmackDown Live? And also hashtag Fire Road Dog, as I mentioned. A or B? Nobody. 7% of the votes, which is 14 votes, by the way, for this. 14 votes. 7% said C. 21% said D. And 72% said F. And as far as what show did you enjoy more this week, Raw or SmackDown Live? And also hashtag Fire Road Dog. No surprise at all. 13 votes. They all said Raw. Perfect, guys. Perfect. Because that show, Raw, was great last night. I enjoyed it. SmackDown this week sucked. But, yep, that is pretty much it. Have a great night going back to work. Have fun for the rest of the night, TN Couponer. Thank you again to TN Couponer and Robbie for joining me live in this live review and rant. Again, the best part of tonight, to me, honestly, was the match between Becky and Carmella. I mean, I'll give props to the effort by Ruby Riott and Charlotte for their promos, but again, this story just didn't make sense at all there. The stuff with Randy and Jinder or whatever, didn't really care about the match. So, yeah, nothing really to say. I mean, my grade for SmackDown tonight, sorry, but I give it a D. Bad show. And, of course, no doubt about it, I enjoyed Raw a heck of a lot more this week. Guys, what grade would you give tonight's episode of SmackDown Live? And, of course, what show did you enjoy more this week, Raw or SmackDown Live? Put your thoughts down in the comment section below, as always. Click my like and start on the channel. And follow me on Twitter at DemandAirBrownie3. I'll probably upload a few odds and ends this week of some other stuff I just want to upload for no reason at all. If you want to watch them, cool. If not, it's fine. Tomorrow, NXT live review. And then, of course, Road to WrestleMania episode 27 will be sometime this week. Also, probably here tomorrow, Thursday. I will do top 10 topics for Fastlane as well for the March edition of 2018. I'll try to do another special live stream this week. Not sure what I want to do yet. And, yeah. And also, since well, first off, before I even endorse him, Robbie says, "Hey, Mike, imagine Ultimate Deletion in TN Couponer's backyard." Well, I mean, it could be interesting, but I mean, what's significant about TN Couponer's backyard? But I'm sure we can make it work, though, because we have our brilliant mind. Because I would like to endorse also, once again, as always, because of the crap fest we got on SmackDown, and the hashtag Fire Road Dog is trending, thanks to Delex Man getting that going as well, and constantly retweeting tweets of people saying Fire Road Dog. Again, just making our voices heard. But I also wanted to do another hashtag game trending as well for my good friend Robbie One Kenobi. who's in the live chat. You know, again, he's a brilliant young man. You know, he has great ideas that he's always pitching to me all the time. Stuff that I'm always begging Robbie just to make videos for, to get those ideas out there, because they deserve to be heard. You know, and I'm not just saying this because Robbie's my friend. You know, I do believe in Robbie. He has great ideas. He can put on one heck of an entertaining show if you let him write it. So if you want also for WWE to get better on the creative side, please also get this hashtag trending. Hashtag please sign Robbie. Hashtag on Twitter right now. I will endorse him till the day that WWE takes him in. He's hardworking. He deserves it. He has great ideas. He's passionate about what he does. He's a huge wrestling fan, wants to see the product get back to where it was at one point. So once again, all stuff, hashtag fire Road Dogg, but hashtag please sign Robbie. So guys, and also, yes, have the Fashion Files finally ended? They haven't ended, but they show, anytime they would show anything, they say, so on the WWE.com, we have this Fashion Files segment, just something stay tuned to play right before the Fashion Files have a match. I almost said a mess, which there's matches have been messes. I just feel so bad for him again. Those Fashion Files segments were entertaining, and then they just got old because they got nowhere, and I didn't care anymore. Poor Tyler Breeze. He deserves so much better. He was so great at NXT, not what they're doing to him. But guys, that is it. Again, hashtag fire Road Dogg, hashtag please sign Robbie. Leave your thoughts down in the comment section below of what grade would you give this episode of SmackDown Live. What showed you the Wars Week, Raw or SmackDown Live. Like this video, subscribe to my channel, follow me on Twitter at DemandAirboy93, and all the rest of the stuff. Live SmackDown, live NXT review tomorrow, top 10 topics, Road to WrestleMania, hopefully a special live stream, any other little odds and ends I decided to do. That's it for the rest of the week, and then I'll probably at least review Fastlane. We'll probably have fun just crapping on it if I get to watch the whole thing again. I have an event Sunday night, so may not get to watch it all right away, but we'll see what happens. Guys, thanks for tuning in. So for a C show this week, at least this Sunday, and hopefully SmackDown gets a good build to WrestleMania. Good build to WrestleMania 34, because Raw is looking really good right now. And Robbie says Tyler Breeze needs to betray Fandango and go his own way now. Yes, and Booty Saxon Fandango with the new Fashion Files. LOL. Hashtag dear God, no. No thanks, not Booty Saxon, who just the only person who seems to even care about the Fashion Files on commentary. But guys, yes, Robbie, TN Couponer, anyone else who saw this live or even afterwards, thank you as always for joining in and making these live broadcasts entertaining. I'm checking out, guys. Until then, all peace out and good night.